Hey guys, do you need a website as soon as possible? Or maybe your website needs a little bit of a facelift? If you don't have the budget for a full-on custom design, listen up. The Styled Square creates fully customizable Squarespace website templates that are so easy to use and maintain your beautiful aesthetic, but more importantly, their websites are built for seamless user experience that will lead to conversion, also known as making money. Who doesn't love that?
Think of the templates as your website building blueprint. Grab a coffee and make the template your own. Just change the fonts, colors, and imagery, and boom, a beautiful and functional website at a fraction of the price. Isn't that just the best? To learn more about the Styled Square website templates, head to thestyledsquare.com and use our exclusive promo code CheckYourAesthetic15 to save 15%. Goodbye, website struggle bus. Hello, Styled Square.
Hey guys, Katie and I just found the cutest strap, Erica's Electric Edits. Erica sells these trucker hats that Katie and I are obsessed with. We want to get the matching orange and pink ones with the smiley face on it. Love it. And she also sells stickers, happy hour glasses, and tote bags, all handmade and shipped by her out of Texas. Just like Katie and I, Erica started her business in college and turned her hobby into a career. Coincidentally, we also have a discount code for you for 20% off. What serendipity. Use code CYA20 to get 20% off of your order at her website, www.ericaselectricedits.com, and be sure to follow her over on social media at Erica's Electric Edits on all platforms to keep up with her new launches and new items. Again, that code is CYA20 for 20% off at www.ericaselectricedits.com.
Hey guys, I'm Katie.
And I'm Alexis, and this is the Check Your Aesthetic podcast. Y'all right, babes?
I'm proper mugged off.
Really? I forgot to do it.
Really?
Really?
You guys, we've been watching Love Island.
Yeah, we just, Katie's like, FaceTime me when you want to record, and then I just waited until my Love Island episode was done, and then...
I haven't even finished my Love Island episode because I got distracted and went to go make myself some pasta, even though I'm eating spaghetti for dinner. I made myself butter noodles. I love butter noodles.
I love that. Love that for you.
So good. Mm-hmm. Ugh, my God. But I have allergies right now, and I was actually Googling this because I don't know if anybody else has this happen to them, but when I'm having like allergies or like kind of like sniffles, I get like hideously hungry. It's like I eat, I'm like literally like a trash can. Like I just like, literally could eat for like hours and not be full.
That's so interesting. I feel like, go ahead.
I Googled it, and so, you take antihistamines when you have allergies. So histamines, which are the allergies, make you hungry. So it's not fake, and
that is so interesting.
It's completely normal.
Because I feel like very different sicknesses for me make me either starving or not want to eat anything. Like,
Same.
There's no option or like in between.
Yeah. And so I ate my lunch at work. I made myself a sandwich. I've been making myself the same sandwich. And honestly, the rest of it doesn't really matter. But the star of the show is the dill pickle mustard from Trader Joe's. It is really good. I know you would have to be a specific kind of person to like it.
Okay, where do you get that? I mean, you said Trader Joe's, but in what aisle? Is it just like the condiment where like the mayo would be? To like the,
usually ours is on like the end cap.
Okay.
But like all the condiments on the end cap. But it's new. It's so good. Because like regular mustard sometimes is like just like too like bittery for me, but this has like the added pickle. It has like some like tiny pieces in it. It's very good.
Because literally last night Austin and I went grocery shopping, and he has been making sandwiches for work, and he was like, yeah, let's get I need some mustard, and I have Dijon mustard, and then I have spicy, like it has like stuff in it, kind of like ground mustard sort of. I don't know if that's how you refer to it, but I was like, let's go get one of those because those are running out. And then he just saw like a yellow mustard on the cap, and he was like, I'll just take this. I'm like, that is not the same as what we have. But he loves pickles, so I bet he would really like that. So maybe I should try that.
It is so good. I do that with like sourdough bread, turkey, and then pepper jack cheese and avocado.
That sounds so good. Okay, before we continue on, We should, and everybody clicks off for us talking about Trader Joe's and Love Island only.
Yes.
We should tell you what the episode is about, so you should stick
We've
around.
been trying to be better. We'll talk and just not mention
we'll talk for 20
all,
minutes and then be like, guys, we're trying to help you. Stick around for the last 40 or 30 minutes.
We're trying to help.
Yeah,
guys.
So you have to stick around and let us talk about our, I don't know, our weekends or whatever. But okay, so,
yeah.
Oh! I don't know what the heck that was, but it was something.
Okay, I actually, before you say that, I would like to bring to light the fact, do you remember when we started the podcast and we would completely start over every time we coughed? We would, like, delete the recording and, like, start over every time we coughed. Like, if one of us coughed, we would literally begin recording again.
I remember being like, if one of us,
like we literally used to, like, mute ourselves when we would cough.
Yeah. I mean, that like, made more sense, because, like, I feel like if we really had to be like, it made more sense, but now we can't do that anymore, but that is so funny. I feel like I remember us being like, and then be like, we have to start over. Like, so literally. Dramatic.
Anyway, so now y'all get a lot of ratchet things.
Yes, it's much more real, much more raw. But okay, so this week's episode is a Q&A, which is our second Q&A, I think.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy because we have like 45 episodes or something like that. So, but yes, I really love like the episodes that have just like a bunch of stuff, because I feel like it's more likely that you'll actually like. Some of our episodes are more niche down, so not everyone would like get something out of it. But with a Q&A, I feel like it's more likely. So, and that's just really the vibe. That's the point.
That's just kind of like what we're here to do today.
It's just like, you know.
So just, I mean, if you're just, bring it down to the basics, like that's what we're going to be doing today on this episode, and that's what we're going to be talking about.
We're really just here for you. Is really the whole point of it.
Just to boil it down, we are the most valuable resource you have in your life.
Yeah, definitely. So, you don't even need
definitely
college,
do not get it twisted.
So like, you just need Apple Podcast or Spotify or YouTube.
Yeah, and that's for free.
You're welcome.
Can you even believe we're providing this content for free?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. You guys should be really grateful. Just kidding. Anyway,
all right.
we're gonna bring it back to the basics here, and we're gonna do highs and lows. You guys haven't heard those in a while.
I also want everyone to, because I just feel like with highs and lows, we used to do like goals and highs and lows and stuff. And I feel like we never really got like a good sense of like what people like. I mean, I don't really want to keep going back to like doing highs and lows every single week, but I want to know if you guys have an opinion. Maybe you should do that on a story. Like,
because I feel like whenever we don't do highs and lows, we still talk about it. It's just not structured. Like, we're still catching up. It's not like we just like go into the episode.
So true.
But we actually, Alexis is just getting up.
I'm done.
She's just leaving. She's quitting.
Bye, guys.
But yeah, so I guess I'll start. My highs. I actually forgot to write one of them down. This is a collective high. Our new podcast bio and description from Audrey is done.
I love it.
She is just so talented. She is just so amazing. She just like pulls things out that you like didn't even think of.
Totally.
And she's just amazing. Also, she did it like really fast. Like, she was at the beach all last week, so.
Yeah, and she did our bio like so long ago. I feel like we paid her and then she like was like, here you go. But like in a good way. It was like very good. So.
Exactly. But y'all should go read our Instagram bio and read the new podcast description. Yay. So that was really exciting. Also, I started doing a new workout class. It is a the words just wouldn't come out.
It's a bump.
Oh my god.
It's a bump.
This episode is such a shit show. It is a boxing HIIT workout class. So we do like other stuff other than boxing, but we also do box. Like there's full on gloves and wraps and stuff. I've been kind of off my game this week because I'm a little sniffly, which is my low. I've been just a little sniffly. But
Not COVID
yeah.
wise.
Oh, no. I literally got tested, even though I'm vaccinated. Because another one of my highs is that I am going home this weekend because it is my dog's 14th birthday.
Miss Rudy. So cute.
I know. Like, I really, it's like, don't even contact me about the fact that she's 14. Like, that is literally so sad.
Right.
Our previous lab lived to 15, so I'm like, I would not like anybody to contact me for 1 year regarding my dog. And it makes me sad that I don't live there. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But yeah, so I'm going home, but obviously I'm not putting anybody in any danger. I just have allergies.
Right.
But so I haven't been working out in the mornings. I'm trying to wake up at 6 a.m. to work out. Actually,
So
wake
hard.
up at like 5:30.
Oh.
It's so hard because I just am not really used to that. And like every morning I wake up and have some excuse.
Totally. And it's not like a job. That's like something I'm so struggling with.
Yeah.
Is like, it's not a job. So like, you don't have to be there. And like, that's the same with my business is like, and like, I don't know, even our Eat Smarter, like, my boss is so I mean, I do my work, but, like, Eat Smarter is so chill that, like, I can start at, like, whenever I want, which is, like, not good.
Yeah, and I think, like, something that has helped, I realized today, is if I cancel my class within, like, if I don't cancel it 2 hours before, anytime within 2 hours, I have to pay $15, which, like, I don't want to do that. So I guess that's probably good. But like this morning I canceled because like I did not feel good. So, like,
and you should let yourself have breaks. So
yeah. So anyway, but I've been really enjoying that. It's been making me feel good. Been wearing cute workout sets. Really been liking that. I like getting into a routine. And then the reason we were talking in British accents as we discussed is because we've been watching Love Island. I want to know you guys' opinions if you're watching the UK season this year. I don't give a shit about any of the other Love Island, US or Australia. No, I don't want to know.
US just it just really
it's not right.
Really
it's like not right.
Grinded my gears when US started because it's just like no one had real. I mean, okay, no one is a very like large term, but I feel like Love Island for the most part was kind of like niche when it was just UK, and then the US started, and then everyone was like US Love Island, and then found like the UK, which is totally fine, like do whatever you want, but like saying that US is better, no,
it's not true. Also, everyone watching, I just lit a candle.
There's something with Katie about fire. She usually will like try to light me on fire through the like that.
Anyway, yeah, I will not hear any slander for the UK version. It's hilarious because it's like literally like a cultural study for like any American watching it.
Yes.
But then it's also like just like
funny,
entertaining.
British people are so much funnier than US people.
I'm going to put a poll up on the Instagram story later this week of who your favorite girl and guy are. Currently, and I'm caught up, my favorite girl...
Is this going to give anything away for me? Because I'm only on episode 8.
I don't think so.
Okay.
My favorite
you like
girl,
Liberty. You like Liberty and Jake.
I mean, my favorite couple is Liberty and Jake. My favorite girl in general is honestly... It's kind of changing recently, but Chloe. I really like Chloe. And then my favorite guy is Hugo, outside of, like, couples.
He's a sweetie. Okay.
He's so sweet. He's, like, just not... It's not fair. Like...
every season there's someone that's just kind of the friend trope.
I know.
So...
It's just, like, sucks. He's
okay,
so
I realized
sweet.
It's been 12 minutes and I haven't addressed my face. So I feel like I should do that.
Well, that is also your highlight.
So shocking. It's really not. Okay, if you've been following my stories, well, I kind of have updated it, not really that much. But I, for the past 2 weeks, have had, like, I started getting this weird, like, skin rash thing that started on the right side of my face, like, right under my eyelid, and then it switched to it was still there, and it grew to, like, the other side of my nose, and then it was under both eyes, and then it started swelling. So, like, probably, it was last Thursday, because we were going to record on Thursday, and then, and then we ended up not, because, bye, Katie.
I'm plugging in my computer.
Okay, that's fine. I'll keep updating it. But so then I ended up going on Thursday, and so Katie and I were like, all right, let's just wait to see what time or like what day your face clears up, basically. And it didn't. It just got worse, babes.
Yeah.
So
Babes.
this morning I ended up
Babes.
going to, I woke up, I will not force you guys to look at the picture of me this morning. My eyes were like so just heinous, so swollen. And so I ended up going like immediately to urgent care, and I got a bunch of blood tests, and I have an appointment next week with dermatology. But yeah, and like I feel like, I mean, obviously my high was also Love Island, because yes.
It just brings happiness and love into your life, honestly.
Yes, but the other high for me is just like, I mean, it sounds kind of cheesy, but I feel like with everything going on, and I want to say this isn't just a rash. I don't want to get too into like what's happening, because I don't want, I love all you guys, but I don't want any like opinions of what it might be, or like,
it's just too much.
Yeah,
to share.
but
Health things are just
private. I will update you guys when I know what's going on. But it's just like, it might be another month before I officially know. But basically, my family has some like history with a certain type of illness, and this might be that, especially with my age group. So, I'm just kind of like, it's scary, like to think that might be happening just based off of a rash that I randomly got. But my high, I feel like amongst all that, the past 2 weeks, I feel like I have been dealing with it like pretty well. And like I have to be put on like steroids for the next 2 weeks, and just like, and then like, I don't know. I feel like just overall, and especially my mom is visiting my family right now out of state, and like is out of service, so I can't talk to my mom about this, and it's just kind of a lot, but I feel like overall I've been handling it pretty well. And I feel like that's something, not to get too personal, but I feel like that's something that I struggle with, is like being proud of myself and like acknowledging, hey, you're doing really well. And so I feel like just with everything going on, I feel like I am doing well. So I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, and I feel like especially like it's easy to like when things are going like super well to be like, oh, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
But like it's harder to recognize that you're doing well in the face of things that aren't so great. So
yes, exactly.
Love that for you.
Thanks.
Okay, so should we shut up about things that they
Yes, after a good 15 minutes, let's rein it in.
Yeah, we got to rein it in now. So it's time to get down to business.
Yes.
Okay, so we did not write down who asked these questions, because we didn't really like tell you guys that we were going to be sharing who. So we didn't really want to expose you.
Right.
So if it was you. Thank you to everybody who submitted.
Yes, thank you.
We, like I said, we took questions from our Instagram stories and our Facebook group.
Facebook, yeah.
So
Love Facebook.
If you've not followed us on Instagram or joined the Facebook group, do that. You will get some behind the scenes stuff. This past week I posted what the episode was on Sunday morning. So y'all got a little sneak peek of that, the episode for that coming day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, follow us on there to be a part of our Q&As and also our submission episodes. But first question, what do you actively do or try to do when you're feeling in a low place with your business?
When we were writing this down, I immediately just said, quit.
She was joking.
I was joking. Don't quit.
But I kind of feel like, although this is not the most useful answer to the first question, we talked basically about this entire thing in our episode about when you're like, it's called So You're Thinking About Quitting Your Business. And we kind of talked about how to get out of a rut. But I think like this kind of applies to every facet of your life. Like, your business is like just a more elevated hobby basically for some people. For some people it's a job. It kind of like varies, but everything in your life, like there's times you don't want to work out, there's times you get tired of the food you're eating, there's times just like all that stuff. And I think like for me, switching it up really helps. So like working in another place, or like literally, I know this is like not the most like accessible advice, but like take a vacation or something, and stop trying to put so much pressure on yourself to like be a certain thing, I think is my most helpful
and a
advice.
vacation could even like literally be like a day, like
go like a staycation, go get a hotel room.
Or even just like for the weekend, instead of staying home and like watching TV, go like go pretend you're like a tourist in your own town.
Exactly.
And like, it doesn't have to
go
be
to
like
book a lake house or something.
Yeah,
like a
exactly.
little cabin or something like that. I feel like there's lakes near most places. I don't know if that's like ignorant, but yeah, if you want like more like actual advice on like how to get out of that rut, then listen to the episode called "So You're Thinking About Quitting Your Business."
Yes.
But yeah, so
yes.
that is keeping it simple. Okay, so the next question is, I love this one. Thoughts on if a field is too oversaturated / too many people are doing it. I think this is something that like, especially starting during COVID, like people were just popping up, and like businesses like ours were booming. Of course, my business is not even close to the same that it was, and it's about to be even different. As it was during COVID. But I think like something that all of us kind of learned the hard way is like, wow, like you need to follow the trends. It's like you won't always succeed.
You won't always succeed. And also like, I think that I personally am like a great example of just that. Like I mean, if you guys have been listening, you know I didn't really put too much effort into my Etsy. I put a lot more effort into like freelance. But I definitely, like, I had thought about doing digital products, like, well before I even started my business or even, like, my page. And that is something that I thought, like, oh, maybe I'll start a digital product, Etsy. And then I started my Instagram, and then, like, people's Etsy started popping up, and it was stickers, and it was prints, and it was, like, all these different, trendy products, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I have to do this. And I think that there's two, well, there obviously could be more, but I feel like there's kind of two categories of one person being like, and both are completely valid. I think it's an easy thing to fall into on both sides, but one is like, oh, everyone else is doing this, that's what I have to do. And then another side of it is like, this is what everyone else is successful in. I'm going to be successful in this also if I do this.
Exactly.
And I don't think that either are good, because one, you are stepping into a very saturated market, so it's going to be harder for you because you're not providing something that's unique. And then the other is, do you really like that thing? Do you care about it? Are you inspired by it? Are you proud of it? Because are you going to, when you're getting annoyed and having to post reels about it, do you actually like the product? Because
and that's like kind of what I was thinking. So, I mean, this could apply to literally any field, but like, if you think about it, nobody's ever like, God, there's just too many lawyers. I just wish that there was less lawyers. Like, I can't be a lawyer because there's just too many. Or like, God, there's so many doctors. Like, I wish there was space for me. Like, nobody thinks that. And I think that like this comes into play a lot with artists, because I think that inherently it's like a lack of value for things like that, which is so BS.
Oh, 100%.
But I think that you touched on something really important, which is like, I think that there could be a billion people painting, and as long as you are doing something that you're inspired by, it's going to stand out. But like, I think the trap that I fell into, and that a lot of people fall into, is you think like, okay, well, what people want to buy right now is stickers. Of course, you're going to make your own take on it, but like, maybe you actually don't use stickers, but you think I should sell them. And something my therapist told me is that in every facet of your life, you should never feel like you should do something.
100%.
So I think like, definitely, I don't think there's such thing as, in my opinion, too oversaturated of a field. I think it's just about how you go about it, because obviously if you're copying somebody, then you're not going to succeed. But also, if you're not inspired by it, and if you're not going to want to market it, if you're not going to really use it, if you're not going to really like organically share it, if you're not going to advocate for your products because you don't really care about them, then you're not going to succeed. I don't know if that makes like sense, but
yes. Something that I've been learning about in one of my business classes is the concept of disruptive innovation, and that is basically the concept that a business already, I'm super simplifying this, so if you are a business professor, please don't email me. I understand. But so basically it's the concept of taking a business model, and it's something that can't really be changed, and then someone comes in and makes it a little bit better. And that is basically, I mean, I guess you don't need to make it better, but you need to make it, like, your own twist.
Different.
Because if you're taking something and let me think of a business. Like, I don't know, Allie. If I was just taking Allie's stuff, doing the same designs, and then, like, changing the color, sorry, no. Like, not only is that not moral, but it's also not going to sell. And I think, like, just work-wise, you're not going to feel proud of that because you didn't come up with it.
Exactly.
And,
And, like, when you think about it, people want to, like, buy things they've never seen before, but it doesn't mean you have to literally build something with your hands and invent something new. Like,
no.
I think a good example of this is, like, whenever I released my coffee cups, the glass cups with the label on them, I was accused of copying.
Yep.
Now, so many people sold that blank of a cup, but there's only so many cups in the whole world. I had never seen one that looked like mine.
Right.
I'd never, frankly, seen one that was colored. They were all white and black, or most were vinyl. So, like, and mine did sell well. So I think, like, you don't have to be literally an innovator like Steve Jobs.
You don't need to create the next Netflix. But I feel like Allie versus Skylar, I feel like that's another good example that they're in a very, very similar market, but they both are so like, and honestly, like, they did a collaboration because clearly, you know, their stuff, like, their markets are the same. But they have their own twist on things. So you can look at something and be like, oh, okay, that's Skylar. Oh, okay, this is Allie. Like, you can see what the difference is. And frankly, you know, I feel like I am Skylar and Allie's market. And I want both of their stuff, you know, just because there's one shop that someone likes doesn't mean that, oh, well, I guess they'll never want mine. Like, that's just not.
And I also think another tip for oversaturated fields is have a way for, I heard this in a podcast this morning, like, people do not buy your products just for your products. They buy them because of you, frankly.
Yes, that's like, another thing, especially with the field that we're in.
Yeah, and so kind of ingraining yourself, it doesn't mean you have to be all over your Instagram, like, showing your face. It just means, like, a personal touch, something that's unique to you. And I think for so long I was scared of being, like, too unique, but there's literally no such thing. So anyway, soapbox over. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Amazing. Okay. So the next question is the best way to stay productive when you aren't motivated.
I love this question so much because I think that that's something that, like, I'm really struggling with because we're gonna move on. I feel like I consider productivity and motivation almost like synonymous, and that's something that I need to, like, not. And I think that, honestly, I mean, I was about to, like, show you guys, like, what I have been doing, but I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I can explain it, but I feel like it's really about finding what works for you and noticing trends within yourself, and your I guess, like, patterns in your behavior. Because something that I was doing, routines, exactly. Something that I was doing was because I have such an open-ended schedule, I was basically just, like, working, and, like, there would be one of two things happening. I would either wait until, like, afternoon to get started, and then I'd be like, oh my god, or I would get on and then have 16 tabs open and quite literally be doing everything at once, and neither, just, like, here's everything, like, neither is good. So what I started doing, and this didn't end up working out for me, is I started color blocking hours, because in my Shop Love Inspired planner, I have, like, an hourly one. I think I might have talked about this before, but I started, like, hour blocking, like, for these amount of hours, I'm gonna work on this. And that just didn't work for me, because then guess what I did? I just didn't do it.
And then you feel like shit about yourself.
Yeah, and then you feel like I didn't do it.
You know, like, say you schedule working on a podcast from 9 to 11. You're like, oh, I didn't do it. Now I can't do it today. Now
exactly.
I can't, you know, like, I do that to myself.
And then you, like, look at that, like, you look at the planner and, like, where you had written it, and you're like, I'm a piece of shit. Like, and then that, like, completely ruins my day. So I started almost, like, logging my stuff. And this might be very like that might not work for you because you have a very set schedule. You know, you're going to be at work like from 9 to 5. Like, you know, it really is about what works for you. But for me, I have like I have like really cute highlighters that are in the back of my shot, and I color coded like every facet of my life, like every category. And so then that way, after I'm only allowed to work on one thing at a time, and for an hour, for like at least a 1 hour block. So for that 1 hour block, let's say I was working on Eat Smarter, that's green, and I worked today, I mean, I worked more than that, but like 12 to 1, I worked on Eat Smarter, so I did an Eat Smarter green highlight. And then that way I can look back, see when I've worked, and then also I can notice like, it looks like I'm working a lot more on this category during this time. Maybe that's something that I should plan for because that's when I like to do it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and I really like what you said about not letting yourself work on multiple things at once. I think that's something that both of us are really bad at. Especially when you're not motivated, like it can just feel overwhelming. So I think taking
yourself,
it one step at a time. Yeah.
And even course, even when you are feeling motivated, I think that's part of the problem is that like you feel motivated, so then you're like, let me do everything, and then you quickly are like, whoa, and then then that's when you start to lose motivation. So it's just like maintaining that as long as possible, but then setting up systems so that when you do start to lose motivation, your productivity doesn't falter. So
yeah, and something that I like to do is like, I think usually when I'm not motivated is kind of when I'm like feeling sick or like, you know, something like that. Sad. So I try to build in, like, you don't need to work every day of the week, but sometimes, like, if I really come home from work on, like, a Tuesday and, like, I had planned on working on Katie Creative Co. and I'm like, I just can't, then maybe I'll work a little bit on Saturday instead. Like, kind of just, like, being flexible
Making
with
up for it,
yeah, but then also, like, if you have enough of a routine in your life, like, you know, I wake up, I work out, I eat breakfast, I do this, I do that, you start to get used to that.
Say the thing about the routines, unless you want to keep that for a different episode.
So we probably will talk about this more in another episode, but I watched this YouTube video of this girl who, it was a 6 a.m. morning routine because I'm trying to like wake up earlier. It's just really a struggle. But she had 3 morning routines. So she had a low energy, a mid energy, and a high energy. So no matter how she woke up, she would have a routine. The low energy one, granted, was like a lot less stuff. It wasn't quite as like quote unquote productive, but she still had a routine, things that she knew she was going to do to get her out of bed. And then obviously the mid-level for when she feels like medium energy, and then high energy, which included more stuff. So just starting off your day with that routine, and just giving yourself some sort of structure can help you to be more productive when maybe you're not feeling motivated, because it's not like you're like, I have to do this, but you're like, you know, I know I'm going to feel better once I do this kind of thing.
100%.
So that might be a good idea. So,
yes.
All right. The next question is, what is one thing you'd tell your teenage self?
It's how to decide on what products to sell.
Oh, just kidding. The next question. You really
I mean, we can do either one of those.
You could have just let me have it. Okay, so the next question, rewind, is how to decide on what products to sell.
I feel like that kind of fits in with oversaturated kind of, sort of, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Alexis is leaving again.
Bye. It was because you said the wrong question.
This episode's just a mess. We've just both gotten up like multiple times.
I feel like honestly, leaving. I said to Katie earlier, I mean, honestly, for having literally like needing to be on steroids because of my face, I feel like I don't look that bad. I feel like I have genuinely looked worse. Thank you. But I said to Katie, I was like, yeah, I knew I was gonna look ugly at some point, so I feel like it might as well just like get it over with.
I know. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, I think that it can be hard. I think something that I kind of sometimes discourage, and this might be an unpopular opinion, is the idea of like, I want to start a business. What's it going to be? I think that can be like dangerous because you're just like grasping at straws. Of course, if you have aspirations of being a business owner and want to take entrepreneurial classes, like go for it. And I think there's a lot of amazing things about that. But I also think that you have to be careful because you don't want to just start like get down that hole of like, what do people want right now? What can I make?
Totally.
I
I
think
think,
it needs to
I
start
think,
with passion.
yeah, I think you can be like, I think you can know that you have like an entrepreneurial spirit, as one of my old bosses told me that I had. And like, see, that's the thing, is like, she told me, like, you have an entrepreneurial spirit, but like, I didn't say, like, I'm gonna start an Etsy, you know, like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But then when my like time came, I did, and frankly, let's be honest, I wish I had just done digital products, to be completely frank. So that's almost an example of, I mean, I love my freelance stuff, so that's a different asset of it, but, or aspect. But, yeah, I feel like just how to decide on products to sell, I feel like it has to be something that you are passionate about, something that you don't have to know everything about this thing, but, like, I feel like you should have some general concept of what the topic is.
In marketing, like, a general thing is, like, you should be fulfilling a need.
Yes.
So, like, basically finding, like, a pain point for customers and then, like, fulfilling that.
Right.
Which, like, the pain point could be, like, my water bottle is boring and I want stickers. Like, it doesn't need to be, like...
Right,
I'm
exactly.
dying and I need, like...
Yeah, I need fresh water. Yeah,
crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, you don't have to, you know, go
You don't
that
have to
hard,
build the wheel, yeah.
Yeah, but I just think that oftentimes, like, it's amazing to want to start a business, but don't rush it if you don't have an idea. If you're struggling, like, what should I sell? What should I sell? What should I sell? I promise it will come to you when the time is right, and you'll know. So, super unhelpful advice.
Yes.
Just wait and see. Okay, the next question, for real, is, what is one thing you tell your teenage self?
I hadn't thought about this. I feel like
I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
I would tell my teenage self that people are paying a lot less, if any, attention. Like, people aren't paying attention to you, like, as much as you think. Like, people aren't paying attention to what you're wearing. People aren't, not in a bad way.
Yeah, but, like, they're more concerned with themselves than they are with you.
Exactly. And, like, I think as you get older, it becomes more and more, like, actually true that, like, people are less concerned with you.
110%.
But, like, I was just so worried all the time. Like, it's, like, the reason I didn't start a platform earlier is because I was like, people are going to judge me. People are going to think I'm weird. People are going to think that I'll never be able to do it. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
frankly.
Right.
Like, I would just tell myself, like, genuinely, people are not as concerned with you in a negative way as you think they are. Like, and if they are that concerned with you in a negative way, they're probably jealous.
Yeah, so. Right. And also those people you don't need to concern yourself with. Like, those people aren't the people that you should be worried about. Yeah. Wow, I thought I was having a stroke. So, basically for me, I feel like I was just, like, so worried and concerned about, like, where I would end up, like, career-wise, and especially because teenage self, if we're thinking, like, senior year Alexis, even, frankly, always Alexis, even when I was, like, in elementary school, I was always so concerned with where I was going to go to college, like, literally always, and that definitely has a lot to do with my family. Like, my family's kind of intense, but, I would tell myself, it is okay to go to your state school. It's okay to stay in Vermont. It's also okay to live in your hometown, because
are you talking to me?
Yeah, I am mostly talking to Katie right now. No, I genuinely, like, I mean, I always kind of knew that I would want to stay in Vermont when I was older, but I got really disappointed that I couldn't leave for college, and, like, and that is still something that I, like, struggle with, I guess you could say. But frankly, like, I think it's okay where you end up. Everything is going to work out. Like, you never know. Like, just because right now it doesn't seem like everything is going to work out, that doesn't mean that it's not going to. Because, like, I never would have known, because I thought, okay, well, I didn't go to the art school that I wanted to go to, so either I'm never gonna go, or if I go, I'm gonna have to move away and, like, break up with Austin. Like, I thought that was, like...
happen.
And that's... I ended up
Neither
going
of those things happened, and you are at the school.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, I am now living with my boyfriend, have for years, and I am going to my dream school and doing it online, and I'm able to live in Vermont. Like, you know, it really is, like, a perfect situation, and, like, not completely perfect, but, like, as perfect as it could be. And I was so stressed for, like, so long about it, and, like, I wish I just would have chilled a little bit. I would have had a lot less, like, anxiety about just everything if I just knew that it was going to be okay, which I know is, like, easier said than done, but just chill.
Yeah, definitely.
Chill. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, and don't be in a rush to get out of your hometown.
That
at
too.
least, I mean, obviously, if you have certain home situations.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, if you want to
like,
go to school far away, go to school far away. Like, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I went to school out of my hometown, but, like, now I love it more than I did when I was there. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay. I love this question. It is, who is your entrepreneur crush? Basically, like, who do you fangirl over that's, like, an entrepreneur?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and answer, because I already know you know your answer.
Yeah, so the person who asked this question actually is Audrey Whalen Creative, and I just love her. I just think she's so fun. She's just amazing, and she as a person is just so, like, inspiring to me. But I would say, like, if we're talking somebody, like, big, I would say there's this girl who does, like, the social media for, like, Summer Fridays, and I've listened to a couple podcasts that she's been on, and I don't know, she's just so cool. And, like, although it's not really an entrepreneur, it's kind of just, like, in the field that I want to work in. And I just think she's really cool. So, but most of my like internet, like, fangirl people are influencers. So, yeah,
definitely. For me, honestly, I feel like a fraud because they're just, like, our friends, but genuinely, I feel like Allie and Skylar are just, like, two people that, and I've already talked about them in this episode, but we have, like, a group chat, and I genuinely am just, like, they're so much cooler than me, like, what? But yeah, I love them, whatever, but I think they're just, like, so amazing, inspiring, have such great taste, and yeah, I love them so much. And then I've been trying to think of, like, outside of, like, our realm, who else I would say. I've been, like, looking through my...
We didn't really prep too good.
We didn't prep at all for this episode, to be completely honest with you.
Okay,
I mean, we
no,
did,
that's a lie. We prepped for the episode, just not that specific question.
Yes. Oh, whatever Lola, another person we've already had on. She is definitely a dream, to be honest. Let's see. Oh, I mean, I've already said that I love her, but Color Me Courtney, I think that she is just, like, so cool, and she has sold merch before, but I think it's just, like, she's just so positive, and she's, like, influencer, little queen, and she inspires me to be more colorful as a person, so love that.
That's so sweet. Okay, the next one is literally the quickest answer ever, in my opinion. It is best way to advertise your business.
TikTok.
Social media. Yeah. I mean,
video content.
Yeah, if you're starting a business with a huge budget, then, like, events or, like, sponsoring events and, like, stuff like that could be really good. But, like, for the people listening to this, realistically, in my opinion, social media is free, and it's the best way to reach a large audience. If you want to spend a little bit of money, do paid, like, promoted ads, but in my opinion, organic content is the best.
Also, I did say TikTok, but also, like, diversify your platform, because really, I think video content, I was just talking on a meeting for Eat Smarter about this, how, like, video content right now is, like, honestly the best place for you to be, because you are able to, Austin just started calling me, so I got distracted. Sorry, guys.
Hello?
But he's like, oh my God.
God, you didn't answer.
You didn't answer.
Oh my God.
But anyways, now, what was I saying? See, Austin, what the heck?
Diversifying your content.
Diversifying my content, yes. Video content is perfect because you are able to share that on Pinterest. You are able to share that on Reels, on TikTok, Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yep. I think that's pretty much all the ones that are niche needs to really be concerned with.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also for Pinterest, they have like these new like I heard that it's different for everybody, but some are called story pins, some are called idea pins. But it's basically like when you go onto your page, it's like the first page, and then they don't connect to links or anything. But after I post one of those, my pins for eSmarter like skyrocket. So if you have video content, then just flip that over to Pinterest and then start pinning your pins. Because that just quick little Pinterest tip.
Yeah. So, I mean, that seems like we're beating a dead horse. It's what our entire podcast is basically about, is like social media and stuff, but it's just the best way to do it. Okay. The next question is what to do if customers are giving you a hard time, like not understanding policy or price. I think this is a really simple answer too. Stick to it every time. Never give into it. And if they refuse to pay or follow policy, break up with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's one thing.
And you have to be prepared to like give someone, if they're really like, I mean, unless they signed a contract or something and they understood that before they paid you, then like stick to your guns. But like, there have been times, I think there was one time I had to call Katie and be like, what do I do? But I think there was a time when it was just easier to give this person their money back because I was like, I don't want to deal with this. And be prepared for that. So
yeah, and as far as price goes, we've talked about this before, but that can be easily avoided by making them pay up front so they know.
Oh, yes. You should.
And then, like, policy, I just think, like, make it just very, like, make them very aware at the beginning of everything they're agreeing to, whether that's a contract, whether that's just saying it. Because I know that there's not as much legal standing as a contract, but there is some legal standing if you say it.
Yes.
Not that anybody's going to, like, sue you, but it kind of helps you later on to be able to be like, you know, I let you know about this, and there's still going to be those people who just aren't going to listen. Sometimes you just have to suck it up, get the project done.
Right.
But why I say, like, stick to it every time is not to be harsh, but just to be, like, consistent, so you're not letting it slide for some people and not for others, because that's just not fair.
Right. And another little tip is that if I'm sure you have everything written out, because I have a instance, it's not really about like policy or price or anything, but I have had a similar issue with my Etsy with one of my digital products where people were not understanding something that I had laid out. But then I realized when I went back, it was like at the bottom, like in a line of like different text. And I was like, people are not reading to the end of this, and that's why they're not understanding it. And because a good amount of people, like not everyone, but it's like 25% were coming back to me and being like, can you do this? And I'm like, I mean, I didn't say that to them, but like, I was like, but I noticed that it was just like written out in like not the most comprehensible way. So I just, because of those trends, I went back and I like in all caps was like, this is what you do with this. And then I get like so much less. So if you're seeing like a trend of like, a good amount of people are having the same issue, try and think of a way that if you were the customer, yeah, exactly. Like if you were the customer and you were going through, you were going to hire you for freelance or you were going to purchase a product, how would you be thinking about it? And what things would you want to be like notified of beforehand? And then like do that.
Yeah. And I think like I think customer's always right is kind of like a dangerous thing to think, but also like you don't want to like be a bitch, like
right,
you know, but also like you don't want to not get paid what you're worth or not have like people follow policy. So just making them very aware in a kind way and then explaining it to them, give them the benefit of the doubt every time. Again, you're gonna have those outliers, but most people are gonna understand. So
agreed.
Okay, the next question is about basically just teaching yourself graphic design. So you know, what are some resources and things like that. This is like super unhelpful, but I literally just watched YouTube videos and then learned on my own.
Yep.
So, like practice is what I mean by learn on my own.
Right. For me, I was very lucky that I, was in like AP art classes, and then in college, my degree was in art education. So I had to take like a bunch of art and art history classes. So like graphic design, it's a little bit different, but I did take like some basic classes, and then, but like a lot of it was stuff that like through my education was just like solidified. And then for Procreate, I just did like a bunch of, and like Adobe Illustrator and stuff. whatever I didn't know already from school, I just would Google it. Like, how do you do this? YouTube video. There you go. Now I know.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you can also do like, oh my God, we should get sponsored by Skillshare. But Skillshare. Also, my mom has like consistently talked about lynda.com. There's like a bunch of different online like class things that you can take. Yeah. And those are like great resources because that's more of like a solidified education sort of, I guess. Yeah.
I also feel like in general, it's a lot scarier before you actually start trying to learn it than it is when you actually try to learn it. So I think just 100%. Like starting to do it, like I think if you try and wait until you have like this class lined up and then you're going to do this and this, like you kind of just got to get into it, you know?
And also like, it's almost like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a good example of like a little metaphor, but okay, like gymnastics, because of the Olympics. There you go. Like learning gymnastics, you're not going to be able to just like do like a back handspring like day one. Like you're going to have to like do a somersault first or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
With graphic design and like any other application such as that, you need to learn how to be bad first, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so getting that started as soon as possible, like what is the harm?
Definitely. So. And we're talking about just programs because I do think like, you know, if you have the eye, and of course you will learn more about like design and things, but like that would be the kind of thing for like a Skillshare class. Like there's some on like
agreed
design techniques and like books you can read, but like also like if you are wondering how to draw, then we're not really going to be able to explain that. Anyway. Okay.
I mean, so I technically I did get a degree in art education, so if you gave me enough time. But no.
She might be able to figure
not
it out
on a podcast.
Okay, so the last question is, have you considered starting another business, and if so, what? I love this question because we both have, and Alexis, you kind of already chatted about what you were thinking about.
Chatted about to you, yes. From the time I was very little, well, really, I always thought that I would be a dance teacher, which before, like, pre-COVID, I was. I taught dance starting when I was, like, 14. And then I stopped during college just because I was, like, so busy, like, couldn't do anything. But then I started up after I graduated, and then I haven't really just because of COVID, and then I've been busy, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I thought from the time I was, like, maybe middle school, high school, my best friend Carly and I really wanted to start a dance studio. That is something that we like very much thought about. And honestly, I think that is something everything would have to line up very perfectly. But that is something that I still have thought about a lot about.
Just because it's a dream thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it just would have to not be my main source of income because there's just no way. And I'd have to, like, hire people. Like, I would not be able to do everything myself because I think that's, like, it's a huge undertaking.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, so I have thought about starting a dance studio. It's just, like, a very different business from what we do. And, yeah, I don't really know what else to say in answering that question, but... If you guys want to hear any more about that, ask me questions in DMs. I will answer it. But, yeah. Might happen, might not.
And I think, like, kind of... it's not that I've really considered starting, like, a whole nother business the same way that you have. But I've just always been, like, just in love with influencers. I just love that. Like, it's not necessarily a business. It's more like a personal brand. But that's something that, like, I'm trying to go more towards.
Yeah. Katie and I feel like Katie and I both have, like, we want to, but then we're, like, afraid that people are going to be like, what? Like, who are you? What are you doing?
Exactly. But I've just always been interested in that. And, like, I think I've said this on the podcast before. Literally, I'll, like, do my makeup and be like, okay, so now I'm good. Not that I would ever do, like, makeup tutorials, but, like, I especially did that in middle school. And I did have a YouTube channel for a while and, like, tried to be an influencer or whatever. But I just kind of want to... lifestyle stuff. It's just fun. Anyway, that's not really an answer to that question, but anyway, those are all of the questions that you guys asked. So, something's happening in the parking lot. I think there's a kerfuffle. I love that word. Okay, so now moving on to random questions, which is just basically like the same thing we've been doing this entire time.
Literally.
But they're a little bit less business related. So the first random question is, what is your favorite college class that you took? I love this.
Answer it, because I don't know.
I think like what I expected it to be was my sleep and dreams class. It did not end up being that. I think that my favorite class, in all honesty, was probably my advanced and international marketing class. It was like the most advanced marketing class at my school. We did like a lot of like research, like we did like interviews and like coded it and stuff. I learned the most skills that I learned in any class in that class. I also really liked developmental psychology just because I love psych. But yeah, those would be my two favorites.
Love that. I also liked psych. Psych was interesting. I definitely remembered what my favorite class is. My best friend from college, Alencia, if you are listening to this, you already know which is my favorite. But basically we took, like, my art education people, like our little group was very small because obviously art education in Vermont not going to be the hugest thing. So there was only like 15 of us in our grade or our graduating class, and so many of us ended up taking this one class that was a summer class at no one's going to know where this is except Vermont people, but Shelburne Shelburne Farms, which Shelburne, Vermont is like so beautiful. And they have this museum. When you come visit, I want to go to both. This museum is like all these different like crazy buildings that they have. They have like a ship that's literally just like a ship, and it's so cool. And then the Shelburne Farms is a huge farm that was like an active farm and like so long ago. I don't know when. I'm not describing this well, but I took this painting class that was at Shelburne Farms. And so we did like all of this like exploratory. Exploratory. Thank you. But like we did like hikes and stuff, and then we would like paint by the water, and like it was such a beautiful class. And then I ended up I wish I was on my phone so I could go walk over and show you that painting. Maybe I'll put it on the story. But my final for that painting is like, or for that class is like one of my favorite paintings I've ever done. But it was like based on the like water map of Lake Champlain, like how like it gets like deeper and it's like dark. I'll have to show you a picture. But yeah, that was just like one of the coolest classes, except my teacher was like kind of insane. So that was kind of a downside.
All right.
But,
we'll love that. Okay, we haven't. I'm like, should we do another random question? We've really been talking for a while.
I feel like we should wrap it up and keep that one for next week.
Yeah, we're going to save that for next week. A little bit of a cliffhanger for you guys today. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening. Be sure to leave us a rating and review on wherever you listen to your podcasts, and subscribe to keep up with our weekly episodes.
And then follow us on our Instagram account, Check Your Aesthetic Podcast, and our personal accounts, Katie Creative Co. and AlexisAdams.co. And we will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.